You're listening to Barbell Logic,
the podcast where we talk about what it means to experience strength
and how you can use simple, hard, and effective strategies in training and nutrition to improve your life.
It starts with meeting you where you are right now and finding lasting solutions.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Barbell Logic podcast. This is another episode of the Coaching Success Series. This episode on the Barbell Logic podcast is brought to you by Turnkey Coach. Turnkey Coach isn't just a tool for programming. It's a complete online coaching platform for coaches, and we've designed it to help you work more efficiently, free up your time, and put more money in your pocket. To learn more about Turnkey Coach and be invited as an early user, as a coach, as it becomes publicly available, visit turnkey.coach to schedule a demo call. Also, big update, there's a really cool demo video that we put on that landing page this week. So gives you a little taste of Turnkey Coach. So go right now to turnkey.coach and check it out. Check out that video. All right, we're going to continue our discussion from last week where we talked about the value equation. So if you haven't heard that episode, you should definitely go back because we're going to go through a few parts of this. Reminder, we laid down 3 straws on a table. The middle straw represents price. The right straw represents cost. The more we can reduce our cost, we can build profit for the coach. That will be a future episode. As a matter of fact, I'm almost positive I'm going to have Andrew Jackson give that episode, and I'll talk about why here in a minute. Today, we're actually going to talk about, again, middle straw is price. Straw on the right is value. And the space between the price and really the perceived value that the client gets is trust. So we're going to talk about building trust today and how we actually make progress and thrive in economic times and set ourselves apart as coaches to build value and build trust with our clients. And so if you remember last week, we said that there are 3 ways to do this, to accomplish these goals. And really, we want to do all 3. So one is we want to provide extreme value and a high efficacy in support of our clients' goals. We want to help them reach the goal, right? 2, we want to build trust by showing excellence with 3 key traits: ability, our expertise, right? Integrity, and benevolence, or the fact that we care. And so let me just take a second and say, Andrew Jackson, our COO and product manager for Turnkey Coach, this is really something that he has just internalized and continued to talk about inside the company. Last year at the Block Conference, Andrew talked about how we can build trust. And so I want to make sure I pay homage there. This is his idea. We will actually post his talk and the articles that we've linked to these things, but I want to give you a really concise view of that. And then this year, which was literally last weekend, so I had my staff at my house Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I was on an airplane at 5:20 a.m. on Monday morning, flying out to Boise to work with the Air Force, the EOD guys. This year, Andrew talked about the other side of the equation, how to reduce our cost as coaches, primarily through reducing the amount of time we spend coaching with no loss in service. So reducing waste. He comes from a lean manufacturing background, which is why he's far more qualified to talk about that. But I want to talk about the client side today. So how to provide extreme value. So the greatest thing that we can do to bring our clients a high level of value is efficacy, right? And efficacy is sort of a weird word and something we probably don't use that much in the English language, but it literally simply means the ability to produce an effect. So this means that you have to learn how to listen to your clients. You don't tell your clients that it's strength at all cost, or it's this at all cost, or we only do these lifts. Or I had a guy that I worked with yesterday in the Air Force who has a completely jacked up shoulder, and he actually had bicep tendon repair both at the origin and the insertion. And I was like, man, you're going to have to squat with the safety squat bar, and that's okay. And so the relief on his face when he found out he didn't have to low bar squat and he could actually squat with the safety squat bar to protect his arms was huge. All it took was listening, right? So whether they just want to get strong, and by the way, most of your clients, when they hire you, don't just want to get strong. We know how important strength is. We still focus on the 4 big lifts for almost everybody, but listen to their goals, listen to what they say, listen to how we can improve their quality of life, whether that's conditioning, whether that's body composition change, whether that's Nikki Sims right now building the big butt because that's what she wants to do. Like, that's the thing we're trying to do. We have to have a high level of efficacy to actually help our clients reach their goals. If you can't do that, you're probably not a good enough strength coach to charge much money to get the job done. However, that's actually where experience comes in. That's why it's okay to coach your spouse and your kids and your neighbors and your friends for free or cheap, because it lets you learn. It lets you log those hours. You can't become a great coach just by reading books and articles and listening to podcasts, right? You would never want to go have brain surgery from a brain surgeon that all they ever did was go to class and take a test and pass a test on brain surgery. I don't want the guy that went to Harvard Medical School but hasn't done any brain surgery. I want the guy that went to University of Missouri. I mean, who knows? But he's been performing brain surgeries for 30 years. That's the one I want. That efficacy piece comes with experience. You can't buy that. You can't read that enough. You can't, I mean, certainly you can learn those things and internalize them, but you have to practice them on the platform. That's why for the PBC, to earn your professional barbell coaching certification, we actually make you do a platform test. There's a written test, there's a oral examination, and there's a platform test. And we want to know that you know how to take your clients from point A to point B, and point B is their point B, right? Now, sometimes you have to actually help them hone in on what their goal is. Sometimes you'll get somebody who says, I just want to lose weight, or I just want to get skinny, and that's okay. But we want to say, well, so if I had a guy that came and told me that, I'd say, well, what size pants are you wearing right now? And he said, we're 42 waist. I said, okay, well, what's the goal? He'd say 36s. Okay, now I have a number to shoot for. So now when we go from 42 to 40, we haven't hit the goal, but he's clearly moved that direction, right? And I can show him how strength can actually help move him that direction. But we're also going to do other things like nutrition coaching and conditioning and things that actually move him in that direction. So efficacy is huge. Can you move your client towards the goal, right? And so the next, and I would argue the most important thing you can do as a coach, is to build trust with your clients. The online coaching industry is full of probably hundreds of thousands of quote unquote coaches who are selling template programs. Guys, with the coming of AI, no matter how you feel about it, those companies are dead. AI can already write really good strength coaching programs. And what that will look like in 1 year from now, there's no need to pay an expert to do that because AI can do that, right? So what trust is building that relationship with the client. And that's what AI can't do. And so we do that through ability, which AI sometime down the line will actually probably be able to watch you in a 3D camera and fix your squats and things like that. But integrity, I'm going to dig into each one of these, and benevolence, that you care. And that's the thing that it will never be able to do. And so we build trust with those three things. Number one, ability. Ability means you can. They trust that you are an excellent coach and you can actually get the job done. You can actually move them towards the goal, right? And ability kind of waxes and wanes. I mean, there are certain things that certain demographics that I love to coach. If somebody came to me and was a postpartum female and I had to coach them, I'm probably not that great. Actually, I'm certain I'm not that great. But I have coaches on staff that are, and which is why we would give that client to a member of our staff, a Nikki Berman type, who is fantastic with postpartum because she's been postpartum. I don't know what it feels like to be postpartum, right? And so there are other things where you haven't dealt with knee injuries or haven't dealt with back injuries. And so your ability to get somebody generally strong may be great. Your ability to be more specific won't be in the beginning. And that also just takes a lot of time and practice and effort and reading and podcasts and all of those things. But it's very important that your client trusts that you have the ability to get them to their goals, right? So you know that the average 19-year-old personal trainer at Planet Fitness with the purple polo on, he doesn't have any clue what he's doing, like no clue, right? And so this is why we have the Coaching Academy. We watched people get strong at Barbell Logic starting in 2016. And then by 2018, they wanted to help their spouses and their kids and their friends. And because they couldn't stop talking about it and they looked better and they were, their friends were noticing. And so, but there wasn't a path to become a coach. That just didn't exist. I mean, I've had the SCS and all of those things, and it's just a multiple choice test. So it wasn't a path to become, it was a textbook that you took a test for. And so that's when we launched the Academy in 2018. And so we launched the Academy. That's been reworked numerous times to get better and better and better. And once you have access to it, you have access to it forever. We have the basic Academy is called Principles, which is great for any up and coming coach. Then we have the advanced series on things like anatomy and physiology and the physics and advanced programming. But the thing we started to see was that for most people who were that early, I'm just trying to start my coaching process and Principles was like drinking from a fire hose, we've decided to come out with Coaching 101, which is about to release here in August. And so I just want to make sure that everyone understands that there is a class coming that is a simple, if you are a brand new coach and you're learning how to get all the big stuff out of the way, it offers Coaching 101 through the Barbell Academy, offers a complete pathway to become a strength coach. It's 100% online, on your own schedule, all those things that we pride ourselves in. And so we're developing that course that's about to launch. And we designed the course with the passionate lifter in mind. So if that's you, you're the passionate lifter, but you're thinking about becoming a coach as either a second job, a side gig, or even eventually moving out of your main gig into professional coaching. Coaching 101 is definitely the place to start. It's going to be at a cheap price point, right? So that's a great place to go. So to get access to Coaching 101 as soon as it's available, along with a 10% discount off of the course price, visit barbelllogic.com/101 right now. That's barbelllogic.com/101 for 10% off discount as soon as the course launches. And that should be very soon with this coming out. I'm recording this at the end of July. So the first way we can build trust is ability. What can we do to set ourselves apart from all of the other personal trainers on the earth? And it's actually not that hard. One is to get strong, right? One is to look the part, right? One is to have the ability to actually help the client reach the goal. That's that ability. But number two, so it's you can, right? Ability means you can. Number two is integrity. It means you'll do the thing you say that you're going to do. Do you follow through with those things? If you're coaching a client and they say, hey, can I change this, this accessory, dips hurt my shoulders. Can I move to a different tricep exercise? And you say, absolutely, we'll program in rolling dumbbell extensions. Do you remember to do that? Do you break down your videos? For Barbell Logic, we keep meticulous records of our 24-hour feedback clock, which is typically like 99% of all videos submitted at Barbell Logic get broken down within 24 hours. And so that's an integrity piece. Do you do the thing you say that you're going to do? Now, everybody makes mistakes, but if you spend a bunch of time as you coach your clients over the months and years, you build more and more integrity. They begin to trust you more and more that you will do the thing you say you're going to do. And then when you make a little mistake, because it happens sometimes, that integrity will drop just a little bit, but because you have banked so much integrity, you've deposited so much integrity into the integrity bank account, then it's survivable, right? But if you're somebody who frequently makes mistakes, doesn't follow through, doesn't do the thing you say you're going to do, hey, coach, I can't train Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. I have to train Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Or I have clients all the time that'll come to me, especially in the summer, saying, hey, I'm going out of town on Friday. I need to go Monday through Thursday, 4 days in a row. Can you program me that? Do I remember that? Right? So integrity is, will you do the thing that you say you're going to do? Super important. And that really leads me into the third and probably the most important, which is benevolence. Do you care? Or that you should care? And I think this is the thing that has made Barbell Logic the most successful. We focus so much on customer service over the years. My clients know that the only person on the planet that cares as much about their training is me. Their spouse doesn't, their kids don't. Nobody cares except for me. And so that's why they stay. So look, after I've had a client for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, I'm not really fixing their form. Their forms should be perfect at that point. but yet they stay because they love the relationship, they love the accountability, and they know I genuinely care. It's authentic, right? They know. And so that over time also builds that level of benevolence. There's a lot of stickiness to your clients. They won't leave because it would be like a bad breakup. I mean, we've been together for 7 years or 8 years, and they love that relationship. That has to be authentic. And I've said before that I believe very strongly that there are some really good, effective coaches from the ability and integrity standpoint, but they're just kind of sociopaths a little bit, and they just don't quite care enough about people. I won't hire somebody like that at Barbell Logic because I can't fix your personality. We can make you a better coach. We can help you gain ability, right? We can work on integrity, and we can talk about benevolence. But ultimately, if you don't care about people, if you're not a people person, this industry is not for you. This is a service industry. We are service first all the time. That's what we do. So when we focus on ability, integrity, and care, benevolence, we build those three things, build over time more and more and more and more trust from your client because they know you actually care. So the greatest way to build trust and thus value to your clients is to consistently show your client that you can, ability, that you will, integrity, and that you care, benevolence. Focus on that. And even if the price stays the same, the value perception for your clients will continue to rise. The trust builds, and you'll keep your clients longer over time. If you're seeing your clients leave after 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 months, this is the place that you're dropping the ball. So focus on how you can provide more ability, more integrity, and more benevolence this week with your clients. This has been another episode of the Coaching Success Series on the Barbell Logic podcast. If you get value out of this, we would love a 5-star review. We'll talk about price next week, and then I'm going to start hounding Andrew Jackson to come in and talk about lean manufacturing. And I don't know that anybody has actually ever considered this in a service business like coaching. He has done such a great job of teaching us how to reduce cost and get rid of waste with not only no loss in service, but to actually improve service for our clients over time. Super, super interesting. Again, so much of what I talked about today is from him. Andrew, thank you for letting me steal a bunch of this stuff. It's just one of those things. It's like minimum effective dose that Scott and I came up with programming. It's just, that's how we program now, right? And so this is the way we think about the value equation for our clients and our coaches. This is really an Andrew Jackson, like he came up with this stuff, and I'm very grateful that we have an incredible COO and a product manager who's able to do that. So thank you, Andrew, for coming up with this. Thank you for letting me share your message. When he comes on and does an episode of the podcast, I'll let him fix anything that I screwed up. Again, we'll always have companion blogs to this. We'll put all this stuff in the show notes. You can actually see his original talk to the block staff about this as well. So lots of fun stuff in the show notes. Check those out, and we'll see you next